Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hey, you guys.
How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, I don't have my chat up. I can't see anything.
Oh, I had my chat up, but I also had my sound on my YouTube, so I was hearing myself behind myself. So I had to fix that for a second.
I'm getting better. I'm starting to figure things out, starting to be more of a millennial and not a boomer. So, getting there.
Like sometimes I feel like a boomer next to my mom because she'll like pull out her little iPad and start doing stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. That's funny. Hey, so who do we have here? Oh, mod status, Jesse.
And
Hello.
Tessie in the trees. We've got two new mods.
Yes. Hello, hello. Welcome. Big Papa's here in the house.
I
Hi.
like it when you call us Big Pop. And then we got Shermare and Stina. Hey, Bugsy. I still haven't watched any of that show that I told you about earlier, Bugsy, but I swear I'm going to.
What show?
There's this reality show, and I guess it's kind of like the same premise as Extreme Cheapskates on TLC. And I can't even remember the name of it now, but it follows four families. And it's just like instead of doing a different thing like every episode, you get to keep seeing these cheapskates do even cheaper stuff.
Oh,
And
Lordy.
that sounds so interesting to me. I'm like, I've got to watch that.
That's funny. I don't know how to do mod status on here. I can do it on my phone. Interesting. Um, that sounds like a really good show.
Yeah,
Who
I'm
else?
like, I want to. I heard about it on Dear Vet's stream this morning.
I missed her coffee and bonnet. I missed it.
Yes,
I
I
love her.
love the coffee and bonnet time.
I know, me too. Stina, how's it going? Alexandra's here. Sharemare's here. Hello, hello.
And Shermare has a new edition.
She does, little piggy. I know I was going to make her a mod, but I don't know how. Because she's a mod everywhere. So I'm like, why not? You
Yeah,
know?
like you already know how to do it, so let's do it. So tonight's stream was actually your idea, and I knew about Heaven's Gate, but I think you might know a little bit more than me, so I'll let you take off.
So, um, if you are my age or around my age, then you remember Heaven's Gate. And the reason I know so much about Heaven's Gate is because I um used to like fall asleep in front of the TV whenever I was like 15, 16 years old. And I would wake up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. and Marshall Applewhite would be on the TV preaching about his cult because it was so weird. They were like the only cult that ever made it onto like regular TV, not streaming. We didn't have that back then. But he was on like mainstream television at 3 a.m. talking about the Hale Bopp comment and how you needed to join his people because the comet was coming and that Jesus was actually on a rocket ship behind the comet and that you had to leave your body behind and be picked up in that rocket ship and that's how you would go to heaven. um Jesus was gonna like swing by earth and pick you up.
Okay, but I thought he was Jesus, wasn't he?
Well, he changed it later on. So he met Marshall Applewhite was a character, y'all. Um he was on, yes, he was on TV, Alexandra. He like I
Oh,
don't know
there's a
if
website too.
yeah. There's the website is oh my gosh,
Still
what's it called?
active.
It is still active. It's called Higher Source. So I don't I don't remember what actual channel it was on, but it was like a regular channel, not like a cable channel. It was on like PBS, and it was 3 a.m. and he was there every single night. Um, so, and he would preach about it. It was just so strange. So it was, he met his, Bo and Peep is what they ended up calling themselves. But they met in his partner in a facility.
Yeah, Alexandra, PBS used to get wild at nighttime.
Yeah.
Like they were out here wilding.
Back in the day. Yeah. They weren't always just Masterpiece Mystery, friend. They used to have some stuff. So they called their bodies vehicles. It was interesting. Hey Ninja, what's going on? Antiques Roadshow. That's not a snoozer at all. No. That's a great show. Yeah, anyway. So Bo and Peep they met in a facility, a psych facility, and then they traveled around. Like he was a professor at the University of Alabama. And they would travel around and gather people for this cult for a long time.
Yeah, like it started in the 70s.
It did.
A lot of cults seem to have started in this. Like, what were you guys doing in the 70s?
Smoking, not the ganja,
right? Like
peyote.
They were over there like tripping on acid, or you guys were doing something crazy back then. Because I can tell you, ain't nobody coming up to me in a hotel and being like, "Hey, join us so the aliens can take you," and me being like, "Dope."
Yeah, it's like Rick James on the Chappelle Show when he's like, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yes.
That's all I can think about when I think about the 70s, man. That's it. So yeah, that's it started in like I think 74, 76. And I actually read a story where they went to Oregon and they did like a town hall kind of event, and people went to this very skeptical, and there were reports that there were people who were coming home, packing a bag and leaving forever and going with Marshall Applewhite and his group.
Yeah, it actually made the news.
Yeah. And
which was crazy back then.
Yeah. Insane. So they were doing LSD for sure. They were doing something. So it was weird. And
yeah, Ninja Girl, PBS does produce well-respected journalism, but back in the 90s at 3 a.m, it was questionable the stuff that they were producing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love PBS for, again, Masterpiece Mystery.
I love it. Sesame Street.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I love NewsHour. PBS NewsHour. It's great.
But the stuff they were allowed to play after, like, Jerry Springer had already gone off for the night.
Yeah.
Even to little kid me, I was like, there's no way people believe this.
This is so strange. I know. I know. Yeah, so I think that they became really famous because they were the first cult to use like the internet and mainstream television to promote their cult.
Well, and of course they had the money because they were yet another one of those cults where you gave all of your money to the collective.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they I was reading about them and they definitely followed the Bite model. to a T. And they were one of those cults that everything had to be exactly the same. The mind control and the indoctrination was so hard in this cult. Like you had to dress the same, you had to eat everything exactly the same, like pancakes. There was a survivor of the cult that didn't end up taking his life at the end, and got out before that happened. And he was saying for breakfast, it wasn't just like everybody ate pancakes. It was, there was a measurement for the batter. There was an amount of time that you cooked the pancake on each side. That was how precise everything had to be. In this cult, everything was exact. That's indoctrination that hard. That's hard to break, because once you're in that and you're forced to do everything exactly the same all the time, and then someone comes to you and says it's time to leave your body, your vehicle behind, um, and even in the end, which I guess we'll get to that later, but even that was methodical in how they did it.
And I actually have a couple links I'm going to link below, like after the stream, Ninja Girl. Somebody has actually uploaded their initiation tapes that aired back then. And I've watched a couple of them before we went live. They're pretty out there.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Oh yeah, I don't even measure whenever I put like this stuff into a bowl to make pancakes. So they would definitely not have let me into their group.
Well, me either. So I'm the type of person that it's like the pancake mix goes in the bowl and then some water. And then if it's too much water, then more pancake mix. And
Yep.
then if it's not too much pancake mix, then it's more water. And then 158 pancakes later.
Yes. Because it's always way more pancake mix than I could have possibly needed.
Because I can't get it right. So I'm like, well, we're eating pancakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in this house. You guys want to invite the whole cul-de-sac over?
And also, can I say, the longer you keep using the pan, the hotter it gets. So there's no way you could cook every pancake for the same time on the same temperature and still end up with the same result. That's silly.
Yeah. That's what. No, I know, but they had it with. I guess that's how they did it. Like it had to be the same temperature, so it was an exact amount.
Like think about it. Like after a while, I feel bad for whoever was getting the last pancakes. Well, I don't know. Maybe whoever was getting the first pancake was getting one that was still kind of runny, and whoever got the last one got a decent one. I don't know. Either way, I feel bad for somebody.
Right. Like the first one is not done and the last one is burnt.
Oh, Stina, I bet that is the closest thing to joining a cult, just pledging a sorority.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
I always wanted to be in a sorority whenever I was a little kid because I would watch those shows, like, look how cool they are. And then I grew up and found out that you actually don't just party all day, every day and plan like picnics in a sorority. And I was like, oh, that's not what I thought it was at all. I thought this was just to have fun.
It's not Legally Blonde.
Yes. Like that's what
Witherspoon isn't there. Yeah.
Like what was that TV show that was on like Greek or something like that? It was in my head. That's how it was all the time.
Oh my goodness.
Practice pancakes always happen to me. Very rarely do I get all right, here's my problem. I don't wait for the pan to heat up enough for the first one. And I will admit it. And then I get so mad that I start trying to flip it too early. And yes, the practice pancake happens all the time.
Oh yeah. You have to have so the practice pancake is never completely round. That's what I figured out. And it's always like a weird shape for some reason.
And it kind of looks like a sponge because you put it in there way before the pan was hot enough.
Yeah.
Because just because the pan melted the butter does not mean the pan was hot enough for the pancake mix.
Very true. Very true. Did you share the stream? Maybe I need to do that.
Oh, like hours ago, I put it on Twitter.
Hold, please.
I feel like I need some like elevator music or something, but I like really can't carry a tune. So if everybody would just pick a tune out in their head that they like right now and imagine that's playing while we hold.
Like whistle.
Yes. Yeah. I can't do that either. So if that's your thing, you go ahead and whistle for me. If it involves musical talent, I cannot do it. Oh, see, Big Papa, but you actually know how to cook. I'm lazy. I'm like, look, I made pancakes, eat them or don't. That's something I could see Preston doing, though, because he loves to make a pretty plate. Hey, Bad Art Tangent.
Hello. Hello, awesome human.
You know what cracks me up every time I look up and I see that little avatar that Julie made with my Starbucks cup? It just kills me every single time I see it.
I love it. I think it's so cute.
I'm like, that's the cult I'm in, the Starbucks cult.
Thought you were gonna say the cult of personality. And I was gonna sing because I have some bad jokes tonight. Cooking for me is making a sandwich. That's the most effort I put into it. I know that's right, Cher. All right, I'm good. Good enough for me. I didn't want any feedback. That's why I was like, hold please, because whenever I do things on my phone and we're streaming, I tend to like screw up the sound. So I apologize if that happens.
It just it's weird when that night that StreamYard was doing that, like there was no reason for it to be doing that. It just didn't like us.
Well, because I used to, okay, when like back when we first started streaming, I used to I never got into the actual StreamYard. I would click the link, the StreamYard link, but I would watch like I was a guest. I didn't come into it the way that I'm in it now. And I would open YouTube on my phone. And so I wouldn't see the comments on screen. Like I was horrible at this. I told you I was a boomer about it. So I would watch the comments on my phone. And now then I tried, like it never was a problem. And I would just turn the sound off on my phone. So now when I try and do that, it for some reason like it's feedback and it makes it crackly and horrible. So I don't know. Big Papa knows about the cult of personality. Stina, I'm in the Starbucks cult too. I break out every now and then and actually buy coffee to have at home though.
But you know, my thing is that the coffee I have at home currently came from Starbucks too.
Yeah. Yes.
It's their blonde roast beans that you can get. It's my favorite. So even when I don't go to Starbucks, I'm still having Starbucks.
So you're gonna love this. Actually, you're gonna be mad about this. You know, I'm a chef because I have HelloFresh, right? And HelloFresh now has coffee, like individual coffees that you can order. And guess what? They're oat milk lattes made by Oatly.
Ugh.
I know.
I told you, Preston found me a carton of Oatly that's called the Barista Edition.
Ooh,
makes the best lattes.
it sounds delicious. These are awesome. I almost took a picture of it when I was drinking it this morning because now I can travel with them. Now that I can order them, I'm like, yes, they're individual serving oat lattes. I'm like, Stacy's going to be so jealous.
Oh, I was already on there like, okay, Preston, you need to look at how to take the oat milk though and make the latte like I get at Starbucks. So I'm hoping I can talk him into doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love chai tea too.
Stina worked at Starbucks in college.
When she was in her sorority double cult.
Oh my goodness. Excuse me, you should have taken that. I know I should have. I was busy though today. Like today was kind of crazy for me. This whole week has been kind of nuts. We'll get back to Heaven's Gate in a second, y'all. I just wanted to talk to my friends for a minute. This week has been kind of nuts. Like guys, it's been insane. Everything has just been like turned upside down, I feel like. And I've not had time to do anything. So I feel like I'm running in like 20 different directions. So I don't
Plus it's
know.
end of quarter.
Yeah, well, it's new quarter now for us.
Yeah. Well, for the accounting people,
For you, it's end of
yeah,
quarter.
we're trying
Yeah.
to finish up end of quarter.
Yeah, we're waiting because on my side, we're waiting on those reports to come out, ma'am.
Yeah. And on my side, I'm waiting on him to finish closing out for the month last month.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you guys doing? Hand me your final totals.
They were due last Saturday,
Yes.
obviously. Um
Like that's how
me
angry I get. I'm like, how come every quarter you guys push me into 2 weeks into the new one before you get this stuff to me?
I oh, I'm telling you. Well, and then every quarter I have someone who's like, "Can I have an extension?" And I'm like, "No, you cannot." Because if you know how accounting works, we have to close the books on this
Yes.
right now. Like you can't have an extension. I
Like every
apologize.
quarter we write stuff off, we move things around, like it's done.
Yep, sorry. So we're boring our lovely chat with our business talk.
Our riveting jobs.
I know. Now that you're all glued to your screens about what we do for a living.
You know, if any of my teachers growing up heard that people were letting me work with numbers for a living, though, they would probably call my job and be like, hey, math wasn't it for her.
Is this the same Stacy? That's funny. Yeah. That's hilarious. Me too, probably. I hated math. Guys, I hated math. Who's with me? Who else hated math? It was the worst.
I think I may be in a separate conversation with an echo of myself, which explains why it makes sense to me.
Are you echoing? No, I don't hear you echoing. You're good. Do you hear me echoing? Can you guys hear us okay in the chat? We know you guys are international agents of mystery. Ninja. That's hilarious.
Yes, yes, this is just our cover. Don't tell anyone, y'all. We're actually super, super interesting. Tessie loved math. You know, my mom loved math and she was great at it, but I was awful and never once imagined that I would leave school and be like, I think I'm going to do math. But you know, money's different. Money's easy, especially when it's
Yeah.
not your money.
Right. It's Joe's money.
Yeah. Lots of money.
That's our joke, our Empire Records joke for the group. Sorry, we're dorks. Okay. Moving along. I wasn't good at finance. Accounting just made sense because it was like a puzzle. Yeah. I mean, it does because it's like it has to end up right at the end. So, in a way, it's probably very satisfying because you have to, every line has to be exact. So, if it ends up wrong at the end, you have to find where it didn't make sense or where it went wrong.
Oh, Big Papa, was it they say measure twice, cut once?
Mhm. Lots of measurements. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want me doing that
Oh
for sure.
wow.
That was probably my least favorite part of math because I'm not um I just don't like it. I don't even know what to say why. I just don't. But you definitely wouldn't be measuring stuff for you.
No. I'm not good at measuring. That's why I don't like to sew. Like my mother tried to teach me how to sew and I was like, "No, thanks. I I don't like this." So, because I'm like, I don't want to go to a quarter of an inch and I don't need that. Nope. I'll never build anything cuz it'll be off for sure.
I usually have things come in on Mondays when it's something that needs to be assembled, and it comes in and it gets assembled before I get home on Monday.
That's right. Cuz Preston does it.
Yes, because I'm not doing it. If I did do it, don't trust it. No matter what it was, even if it's just a little shelf. If you find out I put that little shelf together for you, never use it as anything other than a decoration.
It's not going to hold anything with weight.
Nothing.
Now, I can build furniture if it's pre-measured and there's instructions. Unless it's from IKEA. Don't give me any of that shit. I don't want it. But I can build furniture. I can assemble things. I don't want to measure them and cut them myself. No, no.
Oh, I wouldn't even use a saw. Like I'm just now to the point where I don't mind knives that much. There's no way I would go out there and be like, "Hey, I'm just gonna use the circle saw thingy here real quick." No, thank you. I like my fingers.
Because board stretchers aren't real. I had a friend once, and he was an electrician, and he used to tell people, like, new guys would come on the job, and he would tell these new guys, "Can go get the wire stretcher for me," and they would go and search and search and search for it, thinking it was a real thing. Like, there is no such thing.
Um, we used to tell people at McDonald's when I was a teenager that we were going to have a birthday party the next day, and they needed to go out to the dumpster area and grab the table stretchers. And you would be surprised at how many people will go out there and look for a table stretcher and never once stop and think to themselves, "What the hell would a table? What is it that even? That would just be two tables put together."
Right. That's so funny. The table stretcher. Oh my gosh.
And I don't know who started that or how it started. Like, so they tried it on everyone when they started working there.
I'd be mad if you were holding tables by a dumpster.
Right. And like, so none of that, but they used to tell people that you had to dry the fry baskets at nighttime or they would like rust. So you would have like a new person standing outside waving fry baskets that they were so mean to each other back then.
That's awful. Well, it's like breaking in the new ones.
Yes. I
That
think
is
the best one is they sent someone into the cooler to grab them a bag of air.
a bag of air. That's a good one. Wow. I probably would have fallen for that.
Most people did.
You had to wear during my internship. We had to wear child's backpacks. I had a monkey. There was a dinosaur, a mermaid, etc. We had to wear it all day. Make an intro video about our backpack. It was funny. It was
Yeah.
like hazing. That's not hazing.
They need to watch Dazed and Confused if they want to see what hazing looks like.
So, yeah, right. So, speaking of, maybe this is a good segue to get us back on track. because squirrel, we ran off and went on our little tangent about what got us on that anyway. Pancakes, right? So back to Heaven's Gate. Um, yeah, so hazing, where was I? Oh, um, cancel culture, right? Like, so they say something like that is like, it's too much like hazing. So it's all, that's kind of, it all falls under, everything is so sensitive. It's all like cancel culture. Um, during, I don't know if you guys watched SNL back whenever.
Okay, so I was hoping that we talked about this
Okay.
because when I read this story, I was like, SNL would not exist today.
No, they
If
would
they tried that, they would be canceled, and the reruns would they would be Roseanne. The
they would
reruns would
be
be pulled.
done. They would be toast. You guys, you have
They
to
would be the last pancake.
brick burnt out of here. Okay, so when like days, not even a month later, but I think it was days after um the Heaven's Gate event happened, with the comment came by, the 39 people took their lives.
Hang on, you're cutting in and out just now for some reason.
No. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So days after that happened, where the 39 people took their lives and the comment came by, SNL decided to do a cold opening where Will Ferrell, of all people, played Marshall Applewhite, and they did a skit where him and his people were on the spaceship with the aliens, and they were talking to a news broadcast, and the news broadcast was saying like, Marshall Applewhite, you were correct, we were all wrong, it turns out you were right, you're with Jesus now, what's it like? And that skit is, I mean, it today, 20 some odd years later, 24 years later, they would have been so canceled for that skit. It is crazy. You guys are going to have to look it up. I'm afraid to play it. It's so bad.
Oh, and then this skit immediately following. Because one thing that all 39 members had in common were they were wearing the same outfit the day that they left their vessels
Yeah.
to go onto the spaceship.
Well, okay. So if you guys don't know, this is part of the indoctrination whenever we were talking about the pancakes, right? So everything was the same. They all wore black tracksuits and Nike shoes. And so they all wore the same thing all the time.
And they got these shoes on sale so they could all have the same pair. So they were all wearing the exact same pair of Nike shoes.
Yes. And it was pretty, like, I remember watching this on the news, and it was pretty, I don't know, it's kind of burned into your memory when you see something like this, like all of these feet wearing the same shoes, sticking out from under these purple, like, blankets.
And they had little armbands on that said Heaven's Gateway Team.
The away team. Yes. So they all were kind of like, they took, I don't know. It was like they believed in some stuff from Revelation, from the Bible, but then they also believed that Star Trek was real. I don't know. It was so weird. So then they called themselves the away team, like in Star Trek, whenever they would go to planets that they were near.
One of the men was a brother to an actress that was in Star Trek.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up, but somebody was related to an actress from Star Trek.
Oh yeah, South Park did an episode like this too. Not surprising at all. South Park is like they do everything that's, if it were to be canceled, South Park will do it. Which is why I kind of love them, because they don't care. Yeah. So it was so strange. And I remember, so in like the whole process of going away to Jesus's rocket ship behind the comet was 15 people would drink the mixture that had the barbiturates in it and die. And they would be covered by 9 other people. And then another group of 15 would do it together. And then they would be covered by 9. And then those last 9, of course, had to do it. So that was 39 people that took their life.
I would have volunteered to be in the last group and then not done it.
Well, they did it. All 39 people did it over a period of like a weekend, leading up to the comet passing by Earth.
Well, so the skit immediately following their skit about that, the reason I was wanting to bring up the shoes is they did a commercial, a fake commercial for Keds, and they had a tagline that said, "Worn by level-headed Christians." That was the skit immediately following the skit you described earlier. So it was a twofer.
That first skit though, like they went hard in the first one, because when they were saying like, "So Marshall, how's it feel to be right?" You know, he was like, "Feels pretty good. You know, food's kind of not great up here." And then
the commercial had "worn by level-headed Christians" and then showed footage of Nike-clad corpses.
Oh my God.
In the background. Yeah. So I mean, it was definitely not something you would see today.
It was really bad. And you know, in this cult, in the Heaven's Gate cult, he made the men castrate. So
they actually almost killed someone because they at first tried to do it at home. Like one of the members was a nurse, and they were like, "We can just do castrations here."
Yeah.
Turns out a nurse doesn't make you qualified to do that. If any of you guys were wondering.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, some of the things that they did were insane. I don't know. Like some of the people that joined, they never really found where those people were. Like the people who up and disappeared in Oregon, like they weren't part of the 39 that were found. So, you know, we don't really know where those people are, what happened to them. I guess maybe they went back to their families, but it's not really in the like articles that you read, anything that you try and find online. And yeah, insult to injury, castration before suicide. And then so here's the biggest insult that Stacy and I were talking about this earlier. They left 2 people behind to run their website. So they didn't get to go to the Jesus rocket ship.
And that's exactly what I said to Kim when we were talking about this was, how mad would you be if this is what you believed and you thought you had been such a great follower, you were doing what you were supposed to be doing, and they're like, "All right, we're going, except for you. You need to stay and run the website." Like,
you're IT. I'd be like, "What? I don't know how to use a computer. I gotta go." I don't know. Maybe I would be like, "Yeah, I totally know how to run a website. I'm staying."
But no, that's not. And you know, another thing is, I would think that those 2 people would probably have gotten in trouble now. And I don't know that they did back then.
They
Now
did.
like that girl that her boyfriend was texting her and she's like, just do it. She got in trouble. So I feel like if I knew that 39 of you were planning this, not only planning it, but you were actually like doing it, and I stayed back to run your website for you, I feel like I could get in trouble for that.
You know what? That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Like they weren't prosecuted for assisting or yeah, like conspiracy. I don't know. That's
Because I
really
don't know that I've
strange.
ever seen that they got into any kind of trouble for it.
Maybe it's because they were considered victims. Yeah, they're not deprogrammed. From what I understand, they still run the website. I cannot find the website. However, it is said to still exist. It's called Higher Source. And if when you try to like Google Higher Source, you get so much of like wiki and everything from like the Heaven's Gate stuff. Like you just get article after article after article about Heaven's Gate that it's hard. I didn't dig far enough to actually find Higher Source. And I don't know if it's highersource.org or if they've changed it since 2018. Yeah, dark web. I don't know. So it's out there. The truth is out there, y'all, somewhere. So I don't know.
I mean, I'm looking at one of their flyers right now and they don't even have their website listed on it. Like, how am I supposed to take you seriously if you have a website and you don't even list it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I in it somewhere I found their names. I know it was like a husband and wife couple. Their names, I think their
But
last
like,
name.
he got fired from a college because he had an alleged relationship with a male student, right? But then marries
Who,
her.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bo? Yeah.
And then I guess they get like married if marries her or whatever. And they decide that there should be no sex of any kind. So what I hear there is that because he did not think he could have what he actually wanted, he thought nobody should have anything.
Right. Which that is so similar to like Warren Jeffs.
Yes.
You know, he's in prison now, so now he says no marriages are allowed in the FLDS. There's no courting allowed at all since he's been in prison. So strange, huh?
Mm-hmm.
If I can't have it, neither can you. What does that sound like to everybody?
And there's a really good documentary that HBO did on Heaven's Gate if you have HBO. Hey Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you? Good to see you here. I haven't watched the HBO documentary. I'm going to have to because Heaven's Gate was like my teenage years.
So it's heavensgate.com.
Oh, okay. I will look at that up.
And it says Red Alert, and it looks like it was made in 1997.
Oh, the year that they decided to get on the Jesus rocket ship and go home. Bugsy is in Utah, so you know all about the FLDS. You know, getting off topic for a second, I think that Utah is a beautiful state, but because I know so much about cults, I will never, and I mean never, ever, ever, ever live there. Is that weird of me? Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so like I think all of the areas out towards, with all the desert and everything, like I think it's gorgeous. But in my head, I'm like, you know how easy it would be for somebody to get rid of me in a desert that nobody's going to be walking in? I'm not going there.
Yeah. You know, you watch true crime too much when you're like, no, 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 it's way too easy out here. I
Don't
used
you
to be the
think
one.
that? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I used to be. I used to have this conspiracy that the original Unsolved Mysteries, when it was on TV, not on Netflix, that all unsolved mysteries happened in the square states in the middle. And so I was like, we're not ever moving to any of those. Any of those square states in the middle, not happening because all of the unsolved mystery crap happens there.
Well, see, I was always convinced that the people that were running away from the unsolved mystery crap were in my town. So I had to find them for unsolved mystery. So I was the nosiest little kid because I would sit there like at the post office, look at every single person that walked in, like, do you look like the person I saw last night on Unsolved Mysteries? And also a lesson in why we shouldn't let small children watch things like Unsolved Mysteries.
You were like, I saw you on America's
Most
Most
wanted.
Wanted
Yes.
last night. It's you, Mom. Call police.
I told you, like, our first grade teacher told us to go home, watch a news story, and come back and tell the class. And the rest of the class was like giving weather and stuff. And I was like, so last night in Waco, Texas.
That's so funny. Oh man, I watched Waco like real time. Watched it. I'm
I did
older
too.
than you. I'm 6 years older than you. We're twins, I know, but I'm 6 years older. But still, I was kind of young to be watching that real time. Not gonna lie.
Like, my mom worked night shift, so it was just my dad at home. Because, like, my parents worked separate shifts. So they didn't have to pay for daycare when we were little. And it was just my dad at home. And I was like, hey, I'm supposed to watch a news story for class. And he's like, fine, let's watch it. And we
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was creepy. Waco was totally crazy. But I used to do that too. I used to watch all that crazy stuff at home. I don't know why my parents let me watch it. Waco was so sad, Stina. It was a horrible thing. And so someone else said, oh, Alexandra, Warren Jeffs has the creepiest voice I have ever heard ever in my life. Like that guy is for real the devil. If the devil is real, he's it.
and the power that he continues to hold is just mind boggling.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Like they still follow him and call him the prophet. Weird. So I know. I know. Alexandra, yeah, I know. You're a lot younger. So Lacey Peterson and Casey Anthony were the first cases you remember. So I'm gonna tell you, I cannot like I've become a little bit desensitized to the Casey Anthony. There's two cases that there's several cases, but a couple of cases that I really hate. And Casey Anthony's one. I have a big problem with that one. I have a tough time with kid stuff. So Warren Jeffs is who started the marriages with young girls. His dad wasn't as bad as him. They have so much control, it's scary. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that that's really true, though. Like, even before Warren, they were getting married at like 16, 17, which I guess, like, a lot of people did, but I don't know.
And so, an interesting thing about Heaven's Gate, though, as we're making fun of their 1997 website that they're still maintaining, is they were one of the first people to use computer mediated communications to run their cult. Like, that was how a lot of their communicating was done in the later years.
Well, right. So that was like their thing. That was what made them so um they would even communicate with their members would get information via computer generated messages. Like it was precise. When I tell you, I can't even describe to you the indoctrination. I know I talked about the pancakes, but it was literally everything about their life. We talked a little bit about this in the NXIVM cult, where the master slave thing. So the women who were the slaves were controlled like this. In this cult, everyone had this control where, and they would get, yeah, like all their communication was via this. But then they would also were recruiting people online, which was weird and different too, right? Did
Yeah,
I lose
sorry.
you?
No, I forgot to message Preston to tell him to get up for work.
Oh,
So he's probably gonna run in here in a second.
Yeah, we'll talk amongst ourselves. So like I made you do. So there were, like, it was, I don't know, this cult, you guys, they would do just, they would travel around the country together. And at first, they would tell people that their vessels were perfect and that you couldn't get sick. And, they were going to be taken with the away team. And yeah. They thought that Star Trek was like nonfiction. They thought that it was real. Like it was kind of crazy. Like they meshed a bunch of different things together. But then his partner, Peep, passed away of cancer in 1985. So then they couldn't make those claims anymore because they couldn't heal her. And when she died, they had to change some of their thought processes and what they were teaching people. And that's whenever he really went nuts. And that's whenever he had to figure out how to really control the rest of the people. And I think it dwindled down after that. Like a lot of people after 1985, the cult got smaller. And he did lose people because a lot of people kind of woke up to it. But still, to be able to convince 39 people to take their lives together over a period of 3 days, I cannot imagine having that kind of power over.
I couldn't imagine convincing 39 people to meet me for coffee.
No, listen, I can't get my 2 kids and my husband to do the same thing together at once, much less 39 people to do that. Like, I don't know, to get them all in the car for a trip is an act of Congress, basically.
And that's in the later years, is after the passing, is when he started telling people that he was Jesus come back to earth, but this time his father had come with him, right? And they made adult bodies to get into.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So just your normal everyday stuff, guys.
Just, yeah, totally normal. Turn on Star Trek so you can learn what the afterlife is like. Yep.
I mean, who hasn't convinced themselves that them and their platonic spouse were actually God and Jesus?
Have I told this story? I've told this story, but for all of you who haven't heard it, all 10 of you, I have this fascination with people who think that they're God. And I don't know why people get to this point. Like, what makes a person think that they're God? And why can you not be broken of this? So there are psychologists who think that you can train a brain to not think that you're God. So they did a study where they took 7 different people and they put them in a room together that all thought that they were some sort of deity, God, Jesus, whatever. and they put them all in a room together. And the theory was that if they were all in the room together, that they would come to a realization like, well, all 7 of us can't be God. And then they would, like, I don't know, like logic would kick in, and then they would heal themselves in their logical brains, and they would get past this kind of emotional response of I'm Jesus.
Because,
And
logical brains are what gets you into thinking that you're Jesus.
I don't know. These are board certified psychiatrists that did this. So, whatever. So at the end of the study, all 7 people were asked, okay, how do you feel at the end of this? And all 7 people
Hang on, you're cutting out.
Oh, can you hear? All right, am I cutting out now?
Yeah, you're like robot.
No. Can you?
And
What about now?
All right,
Better?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, sorry. So I feel like if I move, suddenly I'm a robot. So at the end of the study, they asked all 7 of them, okay, do you still think you're God? What do you think about these other people? And all 7 of them said, those other 6 guys are nuts. And they all thought they were still God. Like, it just, I don't know. I don't know what makes a brain think that about themselves. It's weird.
Well, my biggest thing is like, y'all thought that was going to work?
I don't know why, but they did.
You can't just trick someone into being like that doesn't work. And yes, y'all, it was Marie Callender's is their last meal. So, well, I guess not technically their last meal because they did have their applesauce, but
Laced with barbiturates.
Yes.
And phenobarbital. Yeah. They learned something. What did they learn? That 6 other people are insane and they're still God? Yeah.
It's like that, what is it where they put the group of kids and they made some of them prisoners and made some of them the jailers, and like ended up like these people playing the jailers did some really sadistic stuff to the people playing the prisoners and things, and they've never been able to recreate it again because now people know. So when they go to be like the jailer or they act very polite and nice to each other. So they have never been able to do this experiment more than once. Yes, the Stanford prison experiment.
That is the craziest. Stacy, we need to do a whole stream on that experiment. That experiment is such a rabbit hole. I watched a documentary about it, and I could not believe what those people were doing to each other. Like, I felt like I was watching, what's the name of that movie? It's going to come to me in a minute. Event Horizon. Have you ever seen that movie?
I don't think I have.
Okay. It's a really creepy movie, but it felt like I was watching a horror movie, watching what these people were doing to each other, and I was like, this is human. This is the human brain. This is disgusting. I am terrified. It's a really interesting story. We should probably cover it and make a video about it.
Yeah, we should absolutely do that. I don't even know what. I think what got me interested in it was actually maybe watching an episode of Veronica Mars.
Oh, yeah.
Because they kind of like tried to do that experiment. And I was like, wait, that was real?
Mm-hmm. It was real. It really happened. They put him in a high school. Right? Wasn't it a high school or was it like a college? It was a school.
I just remember being like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But they used to do some crazy stuff back in the day. Like, I mean, I don't know. We know they used to do a lot of crazy stuff when it comes to psychiatry and.
Well, yeah. The 70s were wild and 80s.
There's
Wild.
a reason why every state has the haunted abandoned asylum.
True. Oh, bye, Alexandra. See you later. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Oh, Big Papa has seen Event Horizon. You and Tessie, it is creepy. That movie is a mind f if I've ever seen one. Like, it is creepy. I had to watch it a couple times and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. If it ever makes you afraid of space, like if anyone's ever like, I am terrified of space and what's out there, that movie will make you afraid of what's out there, the universe.
And the craziest thing about it is, like, yeah, it's what happened in Guantanamo Bay with the prisoners, is that we've proven it to ourselves that it doesn't work to treat people that way, because they'll tell you whatever you want to hear just to make you stop.
Right.
So why it continues to go on, I do not know. Because I can tell you, if you were waterboarding me, I would be like, yes, Kim did it. Even if you didn't do it, I'd probably say it. If it meant you would stop waterboarding me.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's why like confessions happen, there's so many different
Yeah, you can't keep someone in a room for 36 hours and then get a signed confession from them with no food or sleep or anything anymore.
right. Um a really good story about like false confessions is, oh my gosh, why do I never remember names of things? It's on Netflix. It's going to come to me in a minute, but this guy who was supposedly he was falsely imprisoned for something, and now he's in prison again for
Are you talking
murder.
about this Stephen Avery's
Yes.
nephew or whatever?
Yes, where they got his confession, but like he's, they're saying that mentally they're not sure that, first of all, he's a minor. They don't know if he's like mentally capable of being questioned without a guardian, like all this
All
stuff.
right, so that poor boy was asked, or he asked them if he was going to get back to school in time to finish his test.
Right.
And then after they arrested him, he is asking his mom, "Do you think I'll be home in time to watch WrestleMania?"
Right.
And the lawyer that they had in there representing him instead of his mother during the questioning was related to the victim.
Right. That whole case is such a nightmare for for the Avery family. Can you imagine living your whole life? He was falsely imprisoned for that essay in like the 80s, spent 10-15 years in prison for that. 10 years, I think.
And
And
they
then was
found her
released.
keys in his house three searches later, laying in the middle of the floor.
Oh, yeah, because they planted them there.
And Stephen Avery has also been watching a lot of Dexter in between his time, because there was no mess in his home at all for this to have occurred there.
Right. I'm telling you.
Like, as clumsy as I am, I probably have bloodstains in my own house that are mine somewhere that you could see with a black light. I don't know. But his house was so spotless after doing what they said he did to this lady. Yeah, right.
I know. Yeah, they did. Stina, they did. They told him if he said he did it, that he could go home. They lied to him. And then he confessed. Yep.
And he keeps getting turned down for like a new trial. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. And the fact that this poor man, Steven, has been falsely accused, convicted of crimes in his life. He has spent his entire life in prison for things he didn't do. It's insane to me that this is allowed. And
it's real funny that he was able to sue them for all that money, and then he ended up being the murderer that they thought he was all along.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they didn't have the money to pay him. Mm-hmm.
Be prepared, Tessie, to get super, super angry when you get to the episodes that involve, because, like, yeah, I feel bad for Mr. Avery, too. But the nephew, be prepared to get super angry.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Because in the first season you're like, okay, vindication, and then you just get mad. You're like, what is happening? Are you serious? And you just get angry for the family, and then you're just heartbroken. There's no good ending. There's 2 seasons of it. What is it called?
Making a
Someone
Murderer.
Google it.
Stina,
Making a Murderer.
Stina had our back. I was watching. I found a new true crime channel. I don't remember what the name of it is now. I'll have to look again so I can tell you about it. You're probably already watching it because that seems to happen, but
Who's on it? I think I've been watching my same ones. I haven't found any new ones.
I've been watching. It's like a big channel too. But I just found out about them.
That is very, very true, Big Papa. Some are. There's a lot of good ones out there, and I'm happy for them. And then there's just some that like this system, and I could tell you about the Alabama system. Those guys are bad. I don't know.
Explore with Us.
No, I don't know that one. I'm going to have to check that one out.
They do like all kinds of different stuff, but they have true crime on there, and they're really good.
That's interesting. I will have to check that one out. I always like a new channel, someone new to listen to. You ever just get tired of listening to like the same one after a while? You're like, you need a new voice to hear or
Do
something.
you know what I've been listening to all week? Because I've actually been tired of listening to any of my normal channels.
Yeah. What's that?
The 3 girls from One Tree Hill made a podcast.
Oh, the podcast. Yeah.
And that's what I've been listening to. And as I'm listening to it, I'm like, maybe I should rewatch each episode that they're talking about with them, with the podcast.
That's interesting. Huh.
So that way I could actually be like, I do remember when you did that. I see that now. I didn't catch it as a teenager.
Yeah, that would be really neat. Very neat. That's a good I haven't had time to like get into anything new. I've been really busy, but I've also wanted to like spend more time on the channel. You guys know we're not around a lot. And we want to be. We do. But a lot's been going on. So, I've kind of and Stacy and I have been working on things. But I got to tell you, cults are a slippery slope. Like we start like, yeah, squirrel. We've gone off the rails again.
Yes.
We get started on compiling lists of things about cults, and we're in one of our in Canva, one of the things that we use for the channel to make art and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, there's stuff in there that we're working on, and there's so much different stuff going on. And we're like halfway done with a few different things. And it's just funny because we just go down these rabbit holes, and we're sorry.
Well, it's like we're halfway done with a few things, and we hadn't even started looking into this one. And we're like, you want to go live and talk about Heaven's Gate, though, first?
Well,
not in this stuff we've been doing actual work on. Let's do that.
I know, but that's the funny thing. It's like, and I don't have to do research on it. And then I don't know if it's like, I don't want to do research or whatever. But if I know about it already, like Heaven's Gate, I'm like, yeah, let's stream about it tomorrow, So I already knew all this stuff. So I don't know. It's kind of how it is, I guess. So you got to find the stuff that I'm an idiot savant about. Hi, dear Yvette. How are you?
Dear Yvette, what was the name of that show? We were just talking about it at the beginning. I was telling everyone I heard it in your stream today about the cheapskates, and I really want to watch it because it sounded hilarious.
Oh, you heard it on Bonnet and Coffee this
Yes.
morning.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it? Inquiring minds want to know, ma'am. We hope you had a good day. Sorry I missed Bonnet and Coffee this morning, dear Yvette. Not all cults are bad. Big Papa, what are you talking about?
Oh, I think it was called So Freaking Cheap.
On TLC channel. Cheap. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Something on the TLC channel.
Yes, it's called So Freaking Cheap. I was telling them about that today, about your stream today. Oh my gosh, I'm so going to check that show out. I love to. They said there was people on that show that will not buy toilet paper.
What? Oh no. So freaking cheap. Go
They
watch.
have butt rags that they keep in a bucket of bleach.
Ugh. No. Listen, if I walk into your house and I see something like that, I am turning on my heels and walking right back out the door. Like, that's not happening.
I am so watching that show. As soon as I'm like, I'm going to watch that show. And then I'm like, I don't know why I haven't finished that stuff yet for the video. Jesse, they probably would not have a bidet because they probably don't flush every single time. They're probably like, no, let's save money on water too.
No, don't go. Bidets are probably too expensive. No. I can't do it. So no way. Mm-mm. There is a line. There's a line that you do not cross. That is one of them.
No, Big Papa, we'll keep you and Tess around even though you're part of the 21 Pilots. The 21 Pilots cult.
Oh, that cult. Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, that cult's a good cult.
I'm part of the Harry Potter fandom, so.
Yeah. If you guys didn't watch our last video that we had last week about toxic fandoms and how they resemble cults and when fans go too far, go check it out. It's a really interesting video. Stacy's been training her whole life for the Harry Potter fandom.
I have. So.
Yeah, that's funny. If that is one of their lines, I fear they have many more. That's funny.
Yeah, what we should have done, we should have asked to borrow Leon for this stream since we were going to be talking about the UFO cults.
The Jesus spaceship.
Yes.
Well, I know Leon's going to make an appearance on Saturday when we talk about encounters of the third kind.
This guy really said that angels didn't really have wings with feathers. They were flying in their spacecrafts, and they weren't really golden flame chariots. They were spaceships, and you didn't go off into the light. You went into the transportation. I mean,
yes. He really said that Star Trek was nonfiction. Yes.
And now I just wonder what's on this website. I'm like, how have I not gone here before?
I know.
Oh, and I'm also reading that disgustingly, those shoes, the Nikes, not like the ones that were actually worn by the people, obviously, but limited availability. And then when they got discontinued, you can sell the Nike Decades for a very high amount of money because of this.
I bet. I mean, they're like burned into the memories of every millennial that's my age and Gen Xer because of 1997 on the news. Like it was all over. I'm telling
I said, I don't know that I could convince 39 people to meet me at a coffee shop for coffee, even if it were on me. So, how you convince 39 people to not only do this, but for each group to take care of the groups prior that go before them, because they removed the plastic bags and like put them, like laid them out for each
so
group.
I don't want to be like super morbid or anything, but that is not a peaceful way to end your life. What they did with the barbiturate laced applesauce. Like it's not uh, if anyone's ever watched The Life of David Gale, you would know. Um like when you overdose and you put a bag over your head and you suffocate, like it's not pleasant. And so imagine 15 people do this. There's there's another 24 people that are watching it happen, and then another 15 people do it, and those 9 people are watching that happen. Like I would be running for the hills. I just don't imagine how you get to that point. I don't. And I feel bad for people who are in that. It's like Jonestown. Yeah. That one, I don't know that I would ever be able to truly. I can cover Jonestown, but there were kids in Jonestown. There were kids in Jonestown. 900 people. That's something.
Yeah.
That's terror. So I can't imagine.
I mean,
It's not peaceful. It's not like they went to sleep.
and like
It
they were
was
bold
horrifying.
because they just killed that. Was it a senator?
They did on the airplane. He was trying to leave and they shot up the airplane. Yeah, it's
Like,
crazy.
that's bold.
Yeah. But I mean, like there's at the in Jonestown, because there were so many people, 900 people, like not all 900 people could do this at the same time. So people knew what was happening, and there were people fighting it, and there were people screaming, and there were children. So it was horror. Like again, sorry if I got too morbid there for a second. Trigger warning. It's just like I just can't imagine. It just gives me chills. So horrible. So horrible. I just can't imagine.
Yeah, no. But again, you wouldn't be able to convince me to pack up all my crap and go live in squalor with you and your group. Like,
No, I'm too
I
independent.
well,
Mm-mm.
I like to joke about, man, I would just like to pick up and go one day, but I don't mean pick up and go be a peon for some weirdo who's going to think they're Jesus. That's not what I mean by pick up and go. Like, I want to pick up and go be alone.
Well, I don't want someone controlling what I eat, when I eat it, what I wear, when I sleep. Like I don't want that. I don't want that control. That's never good. Um
No,
I definitely have lived enough of, and I don't know why people do want that control. Maybe they need attention, or they're searching for something, but I could never. I'm way too independent. I'm way too much of a thinker to get into something like that.
does it blow
Yeah.
any of y'all's minds, though, how they just, back in the day with these cults, they just picked up and like randomly moved to different states and like the logistics of this kills me because I would have to wait till my home sold. Make sure my passport's up to date. Make
Yep.
sure I have any required vaccines for whatever country we're flying to, because some countries require that. You know, like I would have to do all these things. And like you hear about this stuff like back in the 80s, and they're like, no, we just felt like going to Panama. So we did. And there we were. You know, like how? How is this so easy to do? Or they would start
Yeah.
like somewhere like, yeah, I'm from Kansas, but we just decided to walk to Oregon, you know, like people do. We all just walk. Like, no, people don't do that.
There was that cult that Wild Wild Country that on Netflix where they went from like India to Oregon just like overnight. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna move and build like a big ranch out here and did crazy stuff like that. Hi, Jen Hobbs.
Hey, Jen. Oh, I need a haircut too.
Oh, same.
And my pink is pretty much blonde at this point. So I've also got to go back and I'm just going to have to get it rebleached.
More pink. See, that's the thing. That's why I'm not going to do. Okay, we're back to squirrel again. Sorry. But that's why I can't do color cuz I would have to constantly. I feel like every couple weeks you have to put more color to keep it pink.
Well, see, I think this time I'm going to do a teal.
Ooh. New colors. Okay, good. Teal. That'll be very alien-ish.
Well, and I was looking it up, and pink is actually just a really hard one to keep in your hair.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people have an issue where, like, eventually it gets to where the pink just doesn't even want to stick anymore. And so I'm like, I'm not seeing that about the blue.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. Well, good. Blue. I hope blue works out better.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
And again, it's just my bottom layer. So if it looks that bad, I just got to wear my hair down for a while.
Yeah. There you go.
Awesome, Jen.
Ooh, local school so you can be official. All right. Well, I hope it works out for you.
I tried to cut Preston's hair one time and I gave him a mow. And so he won't let me touch his hair anymore.
That's so funny.
I told him the Three Musketeers were very popular at one time, but he just wasn't buying it.
So you guys know, Stacy and I both have like super curly hair. Since the beer virus, I almost said it. Oh my gosh. Since lockdown, I have not been to a hair salon. So I have been cutting my own hair, y'all. It's probably such a mess, and dyeing my own hair. So I don't know. I don't know if I look ratchet or what, but it's hard to cut curly hair, and I have no training, but I've been doing it.
See, I'm just like, well, as long as I don't cut it too short, it doesn't matter if it's not even or not because it doesn't curl up in an even side. Like, no one will be able to tell.
Right. Like I always kind of like you have to kind of look at it to see if it's even. So I have to look at it in the back to see if it's even. But with curly hair, it's not like straight hair. You can't tell. So because when it curls up, it just has to look even. So that's the advantage. Hey Night Runner, welcome. How you doing? So maybe it is easier to get away with a bathroom cut.
I think that's why I messed Preston's up so badly is because his hair is bored straight, but it has cowlicks. And I was using the razors with the little thing on it like you're supposed to, but I hit that cowlick just right, and then I was like, and then I just kept trying to fix my mistake, and I was making it worse and worse and worse. Oh my I wouldn't even go with him to the hair salon because he ended up having to go to a salon just to get it fixed. And my sister went with him. And he's like, my wife did this. And they started laughing at her. And she's like, I'm not his wife. Like, she wouldn't even come up here for him to be seen like this.
That's so funny.
And they ended up, I think, having to pretty much give him a buzz cut because, like, I just kept making it worse.
Yeah. I'm lucky because Chris he buzz cuts his hair. So I always go and clean it up for him in the back just to make sure it's straight. So it's pretty easy just to take the clippers and get rid of it, you know?
Well, Preston got a buzz cut that day.
Oh, my baby's coughing.
I hear that.
Oh my goodness.
Time for some little baby Claritin.
Yeah, I don't know what she's coughing about. Hold on.
Aw. You need about 2 or 3 inches. Yeah, I actually got my hair cut not too long ago, but the girl that was cutting it was really new. And I told her I just needed a trim, and she literally trimmed like half a centimeter off my hair and was very proud of herself, and I didn't want to hurt her feelings. So I just tipped her and was like, thanks for the haircut. And so now I have to go actually get my hair cut.
Oh, wow.
But that's the kind of stuff I do because I don't like to hurt people's feelings. I'm just like, thank you. It probably does nothing to help in the long run.
Yeah, I know, but you can't. I'm the same way. I can't be like, you did it wrong. I can't.
And like, as long as you left it too long, like I can get that fixed easily. As long as you didn't chop it off to like make me have to let it grow out for 8 months before I can put it in a ponytail again, it's fixable.
Yeah. One time I went to a hair salon and I asked to have my hair cut, and I was wearing my hair really short at the time. This was like 12 years ago. And my hair was like down to my shoulders, and I told her, I told her exactly how I wanted her to cut my hair. And the poor girl was just so afraid to cut that much off of my hair that she wouldn't do it. And she would cut some off and she would say, is this enough? And I'm like, no. And I'd say, no, I want you to cut it shorter. And she would say, this short? No, I want you to cut it shorter. And I kept telling her. And I sat in that chair for 4 hours trying to convince her to get my hair as short as I wanted her to. And she just would not do it. And I finally got so aggravated because I had to go to work. I was like, listen, I've been in this chair for 4 hours. I just need you to cut, like, it's not going to look good. Not short. You know what I mean? Like, you're not cutting enough of it. So please, just cut my hair.
You put it in the awkward length stage now.
Right. And I had to get someone else, like her, like the supervisor of the shop. It was like a hair cutter or something. Had to come over and cut my hair the rest of the way so that I could get out of there. I didn't even get the dye, the hair color, and all that done and I had to come back because she just was terrified to cut my hair that short.
Well, and remember, that's what happened with me on the reverse side when I got my hair, the pink put in my hair, is it ended up taking like 3 or 4 hours to do the pink that the shop closed, and I had to come back the next day for the haircut that wasn't even a real haircut. Yeah. And I had to wake up early on a Saturday to do it.
I remember that.
And then I tipped her for the experience. You know, I was like, thank you for letting me wake up early to get my non-haircut.
That's so funny.
But like, you could tell that like the other girls weren't being like friends with her yet and stuff. And she was very, very new. So I was like, I'm not going to be the one to hurt your feelings first. That'll be somebody else. And their name will be Karen.
Right. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Their name will be Karen. Whether it's Karen or not, her name will be Karen.
Could be a Linda. Who knows?
Maybe. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Well, I had a great time talking with y'all tonight.
Me too. We should do this more often. You know that we are, what do I call us? non-committal queens
Yes.
over here at Righteous Verse. We don't like to have a schedule for these things, and sometimes we do lives, and sometimes we just make, Stacy and I like to record videos like middle of the night and do editing and just upload sometimes, but we do really love having lives. So thanks, Big Papa. We really enjoy this. As you know, we go off on our squirrel tangents a lot, so they're fun. And sometimes lives are nice to not even really have like a topic, to just come out and, chit chat, hang, how's the day, talk about whatever.
And that's what we're kind of been doing with the lives that we do, is we've been cutting out the squirrel part into a little bitty condensed smaller video for other people.
Right.
Because we know not everyone likes to watch a 2-hour live that they weren't there for live.
Exactly. And you're like, oh, I just want to hear about Heaven's Gate. I don't want to hear about their haircuts and 158 pancakes because Kim doesn't use measurements.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, good. We all know Stacy didn't like math in high school. Now we've cleared that up.
Yep. So what we'll do is we'll cut all of that fun stuff out, and we will make a very short video just about the informative Heaven's Gate content, and we will upload that on the channel as well. So if anyone just wants to hear that, then they can come back, and hopefully all of you will come back and watch that as well too, just for the views, just to support us, because you guys are awesome and we love you.
Yes, and I will absolutely put the initiation video in the description for anybody that would like to go watch the Heaven's Gate videos from PBS time.
Yeah. Oh my God. They're just so cringy. And then we are not going to put the super get you canceled SNL videos.
Not at all.
That made fun of Heaven's Gate. But I suggest that all of you head on over on the YouTube and Google or whatever, search the SNL cold opening, and then the one right after it for Heaven's Gate, because holy cow, those skits were crazy. You gotta see them.
It was a different time, man.
Absolutely. So well, this has been fun, you guys. It's been over an hour and a half. We appreciate it. Fun hanging out with you. I think we have some really fun stuff planned for the near future. So we'll see you soon. And of course, we'll see you all in the Discord too. And we'll update you on our newest projects that are happening soon.
And we do have like an email. Is it Verse Righteous?
It is, yes.
At gmail.com. And we have an Instagram that I am learning how to use slowly. And we have a Twitter that I am also learning to use slowly. So if you guys want to, send us anything, contact us, or if you want to join the Discord and you're not in the Discord, just shoot us a message.
Yep, you can always hit us up in DMs on Discord as well. Find us on any of those platforms, and yeah, if you ever need us, you can always reach out. Yeah. What else? Oh, Free Britney.
So awesome. Yep, Free Britney. Go watch Julie Virgo. She's almost to 1,000.
Please subscribe to her. We need to get her to 1,000 super soon.
Stina has amazing Ipsy bag reviews. She's almost got me ready to sign back up for Ipsy, even though I'm like, girl, you've already got 40 of them Ipsy bags upstairs still that you don't do anything with.
I know. But I love them. I love watching her reviews. They're so cute.
And of course, you got Shimmer's videos that will make you want to go buy all the little guinea pigs in the world with
Watch
their
the
little
little piggies.
twitchy noses.
Yes, it's called Sherry's Cavies. So she has hers. Share Mare if you want to drop some links for everybody. So go subscribe to all those channels.
I mean, it's almost everyone in here has channels. Farm Girl Night Runner has some videos of her farm.
Yes. She's cute farm videos too, like the
adorable.
chicken egg.
Plus, you have the cutest little voice, Night Runner.
I know she does.
And Jennifer Falk has Sipping Under the Willow Tree.
Yes. So Jennifer has a really interesting channel, and she's a commentary channel, and her channel, she covers a lot of different things. So definitely check her out as well. And I actually really like Jennifer's voice is like very calming and soothing. So she's interesting to listen to.
Yeah, and if I missed anybody, I'm so sorry. And I'm gonna link all you guys' channels too in the comment below or in the description below as well. I'll even do it as soon as this ends instead of waiting and not remembering to do it.
Yeah. Which is what Kim would do.
Which is what Stacy would do, and I would probably be talking to you while I was not doing it.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Squirrel.
Yes.
Yeah. So free Britney. Love you guys. We will absolutely talk soon. Have a great night. Have a great weekend.
Be nice to somebody.
Go spread kindness. Have a good night.
Have a great night, y'all.